Hey everyone, welcome to the AI Accountant. I'm Peter, and this is your weekly roundup of what's actually happening in AI that matters to you, the people running accounting practices, managing teams, and trying to figure out where all of this is heading. Now this week, we've got a massive story I'm calling the AI Bookkeeper Wars. We've got a $75 million startup gunning for tax prep. We've got Bill dropping new AI agents that could save your team hundreds of hours, and a warning about what happens when we let AI do too much of our thinking. So let's get into it. So the biggest story of this week is what I'm calling the AI Bookkeeper Wars. It felt like every day last week another company launched an autonomous bookkeeping product. Pilot kicked things off on February 4th by unveiling the AI Accountant, a fully autonomous system that runs the entire bookkeeping process from onboarding through monthly close with zero human intervention. Profit and loss, cash flow, balance sheet, all produced without a human touching it. Now, Pilot is backed by Sequoia, Stripe, and Jeff Bezos, and they say it's already deployed with real customers. Then, Canopy announced Canopy Bookkeeping on February the 11th, an AI module built right into their practice management platform that connects with QBO and Xero, flags issues in real time, and turns them into tasks inside your existing workflow. That one's coming out summer 26. And then Digits published a benchmark showing that their AI bookkeeper made 10 times fewer mistakes than human-sourced accountants across 2,000 transactions. Wow. So what does that mean for you? Well, if you're running a CAS team like me doing bookkeeping, start thinking strategically about your pricing model, your staffing plan, and where you add value above what these tools can do. The firms that win will be the ones using these tools to create capacity for advisory, not competing with them on basic bookkeeping. Now, story number 2, Accrual, a brand new startup launched on February the 5th with $75 million in funding. They're building an AI native tax preparation platform where AI agents act as the preparer, reading client inputs like K1s, 1099s, spreadsheets, and even multi-hundred-page statements, identifying what's missing, generating follow-up questions, and producing draft returns ready for your review. They've already been working with H&R Block, Amanino, and Creative Planning. $75 million in VC backing tells you that smart investors believe AI can handle tax prep at scale. Now, for those of us running smaller practices, the question is whether this drives down what clients will pay for prep or whether it becomes a tool we can leverage. Either way, the value is shifting to review, strategy, and planning, which if you're Profit First certified like me, you already know. Now, next up, Bill, formerly Bill.com, released new and enhanced AI agents on February the 10th. And this one has immediate practical implications. Their new accounting agent automates bookkeeping and month-end close. Their W-9 agent, which I think is really clever, autonomously emails your vendors, collects W-9s, and pre-validates the tax information before it hits your system. Wow. Bill says it eliminates over 80% of the manual steps in W-9 collection. And given that 90% of businesses say W-9 collection is the most painful part of tax season, this is a real time saver. And I just hope someone gets the Canadian systems right too, because that's always a problem for me. They've also got a reconciliation agent that automatically codes transactions so receipts reconcile themselves. Now, all these agents are trained on over $1 trillion in payment transactions across 500,000 customers. Now, if your firm already uses Bill, go look at agents this week. The W-9 agent alone could save your team dozens of hours during this tax season. Now, for a few quick hits before we wrap up. Goldman Sachs announced it's deploying Anthropic's Claude AI model for accounting and compliance work. Their CIO said he was surprised at how capable Claude was beyond just coding, particularly in accounting tasks. They're calling the AI agents digital colleagues. This is a big enterprise play, but it validates that frontier AI models can do real accounting work, and it signals what the rest of us will eventually have access to in our own tools. The AI Native Accounting Foundation officially launched as an independent nonprofit founded by Casey Johnson and BB Kim. They're accepting nominations for the first ever AI Native Accounting Awards, recognizing firms making real, measurable progress with AI. Worth keeping an eye on if you want to benchmark where your firm stands. And a survey from the Journal of Accountancy found that 79% of CFOs at mid-market companies have already offloaded at least a quarter of their finance workload to agentic AI. But here's the catch. Only 14% completely trust it. Now that trust gap is an advisory opportunity for your firm. If your clients are using AI in their finance operations and they don't fully trust the output, who better to help them validate and govern it than their accountant? Finally, and I think this is the most important story to sit with this week, CPA Practice Advisor published a piece today called The Decline of Human Intelligence in Tax Strategy. The argument is that while we're all focused on AI automating tax prep, the bigger risk is that tax professionals are starting to let AI do all the thinking. Research cited in the article found a 47% drop in the brain connections that drive focus and creativity when people rely heavily on AI for complex work. So as you're adopting these tools, and you should be, make sure that your team is still building judgment, still developing critical thinking, still doing the hard strategic work. These tools should amplify your people, not replace their ability to think. So that's the theme this week. The AI Bookkeeper Wars have officially begun. The tools are getting seriously good, and the firms that thrive will be the ones that use them to create capacity for the work that actually requires a human brain. Make sure that your team is ready for the shift. Head over to the aiaccountant.ai. We've got training programs built specifically for accounting teams to adopt AI confidently and implementation support to help you actually put it into practice. Now make sure you hit subscribe, share this with a colleague who needs to hear it, and I'll see you next week. Check out our YouTube channel and my LinkedIn page to find daily updates on AI for accountants.